Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to Tennis Manager 22. This is episode number 22. I wish you could see it, but out my window, kind of in the reverse side of the camera, right now there is a massive hawk, huge wingspan flying around out there. Really cool. But anyway, sorry. Let's get to Tennis Manager action, beginning with an infrastructure upgrade. We are still in the middle of July, but we just finished a sports study program upgrade, and we have one level remaining. And at 500,000, the trade-off in income versus expense is an easy choice for me, even though it doesn't actually unlock anything besides the financial boon that we're going to get out of that one. Interesting request. Grant, who has a 0 evaluation, has not done any of the goals that we've set out for her or her for herself, is requesting an improved contract. And in this case, we honestly cannot afford to upset her because, we have 2-3 months left in the season and then we're going to lose her. So we're going to go ahead and take the chance that the improvement to the negotiation or to the contract for her will make her content enough to stick around another year, because even though she's not the greatest potential, I kind of want to see I want to see out that potential. Jovic finally finding a little bit of success, winning the first couple of rounds. She gets to the quarterfinal and she's out. Just an 80 level, so not a big tournament, and she still can't seem to find much success this season. Management structure upgraded now to level 3. I think that's going to come, if that's the one I think it is, that's going to come with a bunch of new staff positions available. It was not the upgrade I thought it was. It's the management structure and the youth and scouting center, not sports center related to staff. The one I was thinking of is the sports HQ. But with one level remaining here and a progression bonus for youth, depending on how big that is, it's another 5%. All of our players are young. All of the players I'm looking to sign in the near future are young. And even though at 1 million, it's costly, we have it. We're going to immediately begin this upgrade. Following the 2 active ones, we're only going to have 2 levels remaining in the youth and scouting center. Still have not climbed into the top 3, but you would figure with only 2 levels left and 2 levels coming, covering half the distance between what we have and what's remaining, you figure that's going to put us up there near the top. You can see how in the span of 1 year, uni, after we began focusing on technical attributes, after we finished getting the physical and mental attributes where we wanted them for the short to medium term, started focusing on the technical average about a year ago now, and we have gone from right about a 9.0 average to 11 and a quarter. That is a huge increase. I mean, we're talking about 2.25 points over the course of a year. No wonder we are getting so much more competitive and winning a lot more than we were a year ago, especially when you throw in the quality. I mean, the physical average, 15.5. The mental average, including the uncontrollable little ones, which did see that increase a handful of weeks ago, even that is about a 13 right now, looking pretty dang solid. And when we start looking at the individual attributes, all of those controllable mental ones, not only are they in that 13 plus, but all 4 of them are on the verge of their next level up. Stamina has stalled out a bit at 12, as I haven't worked on it in quite a while. I will finish that, getting that to a 13 before we progress into future projects. But meanwhile, there's a few more physical attributes that are climbing, and we left them all at 13. And besides one at 14, they're all 15 plus now. Smash is close. Hot shots just finally hit level 5. Not focusing on the skill shots at all, and will continue to not focus on them for a little while longer. Eventually, we will get active on those. But then all these 13 pluses that we just recently got to 13 pluses, there's already a few 14s out of that mix. And the current project, as I just finished serve accuracy a couple weeks ago, is now serve power. And in 1 week, we've got it probably 1 week away worth of training till it's a level 13. Then we'll get the stamina, which is probably a couple weeks away. So we're looking at maybe 3 weeks of training until we will have achieved our long-term objective of getting all of the primary attributes to the happy zone of 13 plus, where we have no weaknesses other than specific skill shots, but we'll have no general weaknesses at all. And then we can start focusing on what we want to do next. And I'll let you know, include you in that one in a little bit. I do know what I'm planning on doing, though. For a while now, the juniors, the majority of the opposition, are now labeled as easy, but not the pros. We've often had balanced matches kind of throughout. We've been better than a lot of the lower ranked ones, but not significantly so where they're showing up as easy. But this is the first time where we are seeing an easy match as we enter a 60 level tournament. We have won 200 level tournaments and one 60 level tournament, so this would equal our third best career result at the World Tour level. Of course, we still have a bunch of rounds to get through if we're going to match that. This is just the second round now. Comfortable through the first two, though. The 6th seed that we have in the quarterfinal here, ranked 211, looks like the best one we would play at least until the final. And at 211, I would have worried about this even just a couple months ago, but I'm starting to think Uni is definitely beyond that level now. But we'll see. It is considered balanced, so not a given that we are ahead just yet. I think this is just kind of where we've now started to go beyond. And, that funny thing was it was just that handful of months ago that we were below this level. Now I think we're above this level, but not by far. So it's still very much a losable match. First set was close. Second set wasn't. But you can see the winners was actually close. The unforced errors was identical. +5 on the aces. I mean, was that the difference? 12-point advantage overall. 5 of those aces. We really didn't dominate by any stretch of the imagination, but we did win, so we are into the semi. Jovic was here, by the way. Jovic went down to the 7 seed in the round of 16. First semifinals, the easy one. Second semifinal is almost identical players to the one we just beat in the quarters, but again, that was fairly close. Into the final against the 7 seed, so almost identical rating to the one that we had in the quarterfinals. The semifinal match, well, that was an easy one, and we cruised. It was 6-2, 6-0. So here we are, and it's 30 love in the first game. Lapko, the Belarusian opponent here, and she is starting out actually quite fatigued. You can see Uni here in the final is still quite fresh. I mean, she's better than 90%, not quite 95 though, but somewhere around 92, 93% on the stamina.
40-15.
Lapko, who ends up getting that point because the ball just landed on our side of the net after hitting the net. And there's the winner to take the first game. Lapko's already down to probably 80% on the stamina and is troubled, but we are stressed. So no serious advantage there. We're both feeling the pressure of the situation a little bit. Seems like I've now grown confident when it comes. That was an easy winner right there, but it caught the net. Just got that. That was really weak. Really weak sequence there. Let's go ahead and speed things up here in this first set, though. Obviously not a big tournament by any stretch of the imagination, as we've won bigger. But we haven't played as much of late outside of big tournaments. We've had the junior Grand Slams, and we've had the senior Grand Slams. And that's been a lot of the tournament play we've had. So it's either been the juniors who we are better than, or the seniors who are better than us. And so it's either been, go to the final and win, or early exit. Getting back to a smaller level senior tournament for the first time in a while is refreshing. It would be nice to come away with a win, and while we're here, because I don't think we're going to do this small of a tournament too often in the future. things were tight. It was 2-2 and back and forth on the advantage until we eventually came away with that game and then won the next 2 games. And now lead 40-30 with a chance to break here, though it goes to deuce. And that set point has been wasted. Oh, what? I'm not even sure what I'm trying to do. This is we already saw this in that first game too. Same sort of play style from the opponent, and we're hitting the exact same ball. You've got your opponent in close to the net on the left hand side, and you're gonna hit a high floater over them and on that near side instead of on the far side. Hit it to the far side where they're going to have to run back at an angle to get to it as opposed to just over their head. Now, yes, in a sense, it's harder to run straight back and hit that ball. But if you can slam it, you're going to slam. And both times we've seen it, we didn't slam. Now, I thought we were in position there on advantage, so I obviously missed that there was a ball in a place that I didn't think it was because I thought we had won the previous point, and then all of a sudden it was showing her on advantage instead of us. Nice. Good winner there. But after losing that game, things got a little tighter. It did not seal the deal on that set, but at 5-3 and 30 love, we're right back into position now at 40 love. Ooh, good first serve, but not a great second ball. We end up going back that side again. Pulled her to that edge, then went the opposite way. Just took an extra volley to make that happen. And you can already see just how fatigued she is after that first set. She is well down to probably, I'd say 30% stamina at this point. So the fatigue is starting to set in. And we're already up a set. So, and we are fresh. I mean, we're still looking at 75-80% there. So that stamina bonus is absolutely going to kick in. We are already good enough to win the first set. I would then I would bet money that we are going to come away with this tournament win. Trailing in the first game, though, really struggling. We barely even touched the ball. Good one there, opposite way. Good winner. We are definitely doing things that the opponent's not capable of. It's clear we are ahead of her, even though she just won that game. Our movement and ball placement is definitely unmatched. After breaking in the third game, and then the fourth game looked like comfortable at first, and then all of a sudden she had advantage multiple times before we eventually battled back and won that game, pulling us ahead a little bit and then holding serve each of us. Now sits us on 4-2 here in this second set. Looking fairly good. Battled back here, another chance to break. Advantage for the first time and a winner. Makes it 5-2 on the brink. Looks like we've got this tournament well in hand. Match point. Not sure that it's going to happen here. I think she still has a decent enough chance to take this game away from us. It certainly showed the opportunity, the possibility, but we do get the winner. And that's game, set, match. Tournament is ours. That's a 60 level final victory, our second of that type. 1 level above, 2 wins there. So that's now 4 career victories of 60 level or better. Jovic in the final of a similar level tournament. We're going to let her coach handle it, though. And she's claimed the victory. So that, I think, is Jovic's first win of a senior tournament. And so it is Jovic claiming that 60 level tournament victory. That is her first career victory of a senior tournament of any kind. So good for her. So as we've been improving, I opted to try my hand at a 250 level tournament, and it's not looking so good as we ended up with a absurdly hard draw. For a 250 level tournament, you would not see very many high ranking players, or not terribly high ranking players, but that's exactly what we've had here. And in fact, it's only even a 4 seed. It's not the 1 seed that we're going up against, 5th ranked player in the world. Yeah, there's a lot of good players here. I mean, you're looking at the 8 seed is the 9th ranked player in the world. So 8 of the 9 best players have all opted to come to this tournament. And yeah, that's going to be a quick first round exit. We didn't go home empty handed. We did win 1 set though, but we still lost. 6 aces though, that's nice. Way behind on the total winners, but very clean. Only 5 unforced errors. Those attributes have really started to push into that happy zone in terms of the accuracy, that we're just not making too many mistakes anymore. So I'd signed up for the US Open Junior with the intention of winning one more, sweeping the juniors, finishing up our calendar with the juniors this year before permanently focusing our attention on the senior level. We'd already accomplished what we needed to accomplish in the Grand Tours, Grand Slams this year. And then I had an invite that said, hey, why don't you come to the US Open? So it's like, hey, okay, you want to let me do both? Sure. Well, now I'm signed up for the US Open, and now I'm not signed up for the juniors. And I don't think I can revert that when we get knocked out in the first round and don't make it to the second week of competition where that junior tournament begins. Sigway is actually a pretty strong player. I think she's probably a little bit better than we are at this point, though ranking-wise, we're actually pretty close behind her. But I have a feeling we're going down in this first round. And while we made it very close, yes, we do. We do go down in the first round. The aces were great. Double faults were level. Total winners, though, 20 behind. I think some of that's going to come down to those skill shots that we don't have yet when you're starting to go up against the higher caliber players. But the unforced errors was good. Just 9 for us, but also just 11 for her. Just a little bit too high of a level of player just yet. I think kind of anything top 75-ish is still a bit high for us currently, which is awesome because, start of the year, we were talking about how top 400 was a bit too high for us. And then as the year went on, it was like, I think we're into that 200 to 300 range. Now all of a sudden we're in that competing in the top 100. Yeah, so disappointing. We are the defending champion of the Junior US Open, and Nagunye is not here either, by the way. Really disappointing because I would have loved to have, won the home slam, even if it's juniors, but, one last time. Still have the finals ahead of us. I suppose that's going to be the main focus going forward. I did take some time for the final portion of the year now that we're into late August and we have, only a couple months left to play. Both Grant and Jovic, I took control of some of their tournament registrations to try to create the potential for them to have a boost to their evaluations, because right now it's looking like we would lose both of them. Maybe we can do a little bit to see that rise, see that climb, and maybe hang on to one, if not both of them. Grant just in the top 50 of juniors. Jovic only in the top 60 because she's not been competing in the juniors virtually at all, and has climbed into the top 200 of the pros, but she's going to need a little bit of both of those to boost in order to succeed, where Grant needs to solely focus on the juniors, but she just has not done particularly well. I think she's been reaching, going for tournaments that are a bit over her head, and then getting knocked out almost immediately. Meanwhile, the long-term goal is complete. Now, the first long-term goal for Uni in terms of progression. We have 13 plus in all of the key technical attributes outside of the skill shots. In the physicals, stamina now also having reached 13. We have our first 18 as well with natural fitness, the first elite level. And in the mental, everything's 13 plus. And tactical skills has also just reached an elite level for the first time. So happy to say that we are now mission accomplished. Uni's a good player. Pushing her into the elite category. Just 2 attributes exist there. And then, of course, those skill shots are also we're going to have to develop at least 1 or 2 of those at some stage in this process to see her truly be an elite athlete. Right now, she's now good. She's good. But we've got a long ways to go yet to make her elite. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.